Okay. Well, that number is actually derived from the current exploration data. You know, the total resources of Indonesian coal is about 109 billion tons, and the reserve is about 21 billion tons. And the current rate, the current going rate of production is between 250 to 300 million tons. Yeah, and in fact, in 2010, I think we're going to reach about 300 million tons. So if we divided the reserve of 21 billion tons by 300 million tons, that is approximately about 70 years. Yeah. That is assuming if we are going to use coal as our source of energy for power generation. But knowing the energy mix for 2030, I think, yes, there's a portion of coal and it's getting bigger compared to now, but there's also additional portion of using gas and renewables. Renewables, i.e., the geothermal and also other means of, other type of energy, such as biomass coming out of the palm oil plantation and things like that. So I think what we're expecting, we are not going too much, we're not going to use coal too much because our coal is mostly the younger coal. So we are going to use more, we're going to burn more coal to get the same rate of heat, the energy. So if we can find a more high CFE or high quality coal, we're going to burn less coal with getting the same kind of energy. So going forward, I think the government will use more coal, but then in terms of the whole mix, it's going to be less portion. More coal from today, yeah. Today maybe about 70 million tons, and going forward maybe maximum is 150 million tons, okay? But the needs of power are mostly going to be used renewables, geothermal, the gas, and also some of oil. Okay, I think the government capping the market, I think that's less justifiable because Indonesia currently is very much depending on natural resources, yeah, and we don't have any other product that is selling as a trademark of Indonesia. For example, in Japan, they have Sony, Toshiba, or Toyota, and their main income coming from all of this brand. But Indonesia is all natural resources. But what we're hoping by having these exports of natural resources, we start to create our own Indonesian product that would sell abroad, becoming our own, the strength of our product, Indonesian product. So if we kept the export of coal, then there's no more income generation for the country for other purposes to develop other products. Because if we kept the export to, if we kept the production to 300 million tons, while the needs of domestic from now 60 to 70, and then what I project up to 150 million tons, that means the number of export from 200 going down to 150. That's not an income for the country. That's one thing. The second thing also, having a more activities of mining in the remote areas, that would trigger the development in such a remote area. Currently, most of the development is very much concentrated in Java, okay? But by having all of this mining in remote areas, it triggers the sustainable development in that area. Once this natural resources depleted, then the new potential business is, born in that area, and it will sustain. So I think it is less justified. Yeah. The challenges is really the infrastructure, especially for the smaller mines. Yeah, the bigger mines they have enough capabilities due to big reserve, so they can build major projects for railways, for conveyor, very long conveyors. But the small ones, I think, between the government and the business world, we need to get together. Whether we are inviting big companies from abroad, they kind of build a railway or they build a long hauling road that can be used collectively. Because otherwise, what is happening now in South Kalimantan, they got so many small miners there. Yeah, there is only one major hauling road, about 40 kilometers. And the way they mine, they would do the activity when they get the slot of the jetty and the hauling road. When they don't have it, then they stop mining. And that's not how mining is. Mining has to be continuously done. Okay? So it's a pity now that they cannot do maximum or optimum there, because they have to wait on and off, something like that. So we're facing a big challenge in that. I think in every country, when there is a new regulation, there's a new law, there's always a transition period. Well, people, it could be a chaotic or a status quo condition, but I don't think that will be long enough, because everything will adjust, due to the needs. Yeah. Yes, there is some significant changes in the new law, but what is good about the new law is that putting everybody in the same playing field, foreign players or domestic players. Yeah. And the needs of divesting is only 20%. I can say that this is not investor friendly, but how much I can say it would not help. So this is what we are now. Please recalculate and come in. I think the most important thing for the investor is that when they invest money, they want to make sure that the money will be paid back with a certainty, correct? Then this permit regime, I think, as long as we are doing the correct mining practice, the permit will still stay there. Otherwise, if we do, some bad mining practice and we don't take care of the environment, of course, we are going to lose that permits. Yeah. What I'm trying to, I'm differentiating between miners, not the big or the small one, but the ones that are doing it correctly and the ones that are doing it not correctly. Because there are small ones that are doing it correctly, and they're going to be safe. But there are big ones that are not doing it correctly, you see, and they wouldn't sustain. Yeah. So I think in the association now we are putting our effort seriously, that we're asking all the people doing the correct mining practice, because that is the one that would make us sustain. Very important role. As I said earlier, that we have lots of coals, but they're all younger coal, very low, not very low, but in medium level. Yeah, it's not a prime coal like 6,000 to 7,000 CVs. Mostly our coal is between 5,500 and 5,800. You see, this coal technology is playing a very important role, because if we can upgrade this low quality coal to a higher quality coal, then we're going to burn less carbon. That's one thing. The second thing, if we can pre-process the coal further into a liquid form or gas form, it is supposed to be a cleaner fuel. So I think currently everybody in the world, all the big players like Peabody, Anglo Coal, they're all putting their investment into coal technology. It's not that because they're trying to find which one is going to hit first, Yeah, and then they're going to use that one that works. No, they're putting all the money there because they want to have all the available technology for a better and cleaner fuel. So that Indonesia it has to be going that way also. We have to put that in a priority, how to process Indonesian coal to be a cleaner and a more efficient coal.